Hello healers and health seekers, it's me, Ichoda, healing with medical medium information for just over 3 years now. If you want to know what I'm healing from, links are in the description box below. Mast cell activation disorder, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, POTS, dysautonomia, hypothyroid, migraines, PCOS, SIBO, SCID, ME, CFS, chronic fatigue syndrome, multiple chemical sensitivity, and so much more. I wish that wasn't true, but it is. Links are in the description box below. It's time for What's Up Wednesday. That's when I come in here and I make a video about my healing journey, what's been going on with me the past week. If you watched last week's video, you know that I have been struggling a lot and having a really hard time, and I feel like I'm starting to come out of that. As you can see, my skin is still having a really hard time, but you know why? Because you know what I did? I'm not proud, you guys, but a struggle's a struggle, and sometimes it brings other struggles in with it. And I've been on that slippery slope that I talk about, and I let a little bit of fat get into my diet, but every single time, and I mean a little bit, like so not very, like less than 2% or something, like a tiny minuscule, and that's like in a day, not across the board. Like one day it was like, I don't know, it's, my liver does not like fat, and when I have fat, this is what happens to my skin. It gets really bad. Actually, today, it's not as bad as it was. That's how bad it gets. And it does it every time, and I know it does it every time, so I don't know what goes through my head that makes it okay for me to eat fat, because it's just it's not ever worth it, and it always does this. Sometimes when I struggle, I really struggle. Like, I go big on struggle. Like, I take it to levels. So I took it to levels. I'm definitely not feeling like my best self lately, and I am feeling a little better than I was last week. I think sometimes it can just be really hard to keep hope alive for yourself. And I'm not talking about my healing. I'm just not. I'm not talking about having to do with my mental and physical healing. That happens as long as I'm consistent, regardless. I can do stuff to my skin or whatever, but it's not like I'm letting no foods back in or anything like that. It's just a little bit, I'm just kind of slowed down right now. And mostly that's due to all the adrenaline and stress that's going on in my environment, and the fact that I am not able to move my lymph as effectively as I could in an apartment where I could rebound. I can't even there's not even really space in here there's no wall like I could put my feet up against, so even if there was, there's no space in front of a wall where I could put my feet up. So all the things that you could do when you're immobile for lymphatic support, not all, but it's very limited. I can do skin brushing. I can do lymphatic massage on my body, my own self, which I do sometimes. It's hard for me to find the space in the day to do it every day. I'm in that kind of setback where sometimes it's just all I can do to just get food in me and my son for the day, and that has to be enough, because the other alternative is just to beat myself up for everything that I'm not able to do. I've been down that road before, and it is not productive. There's nothing positive or productive that comes from beating yourself up at all. It just releases more adrenaline and gets you into more trouble. So I don't want to do that. I don't want to go down that road. The good news is I did add in the red clover tea that I talked about, and with that, because it's flushing my lymph system, and it really does a good job of flushing the lymph. I've been drinking every other day. I make a big container of sun tea. I take it outside, I steep it in the sun for a few hours. I bring it back in. I mix it with honey. And then when I have the red clover tea, I add the juice of a couple of oranges to it. Oh, it is so good. It is so good that way. Honestly, red clover tea is good all by itself. I really love red clover tea. It's still mixed with thyme. It's red clover and thyme tea, I should say. I started drinking like 32 ounces a day. I drank that for a couple of days. And the difference was just phenomenal. With like the first day, the difference was phenomenal. And the reason I can see the difference, well, first, I'm peeing so much more when I drink it. But B, the edema in my feet, in my one foot in particular, went way down. And I was shocked. So then I went to, because I was peeing so much, I was like, well, maybe I can just drink 16 ounces. And I've been drinking 16 ounces, and it does have an effect, but not as much. Yes, I don't pee as much, but also the edema goes back up a little bit. So I'm going to go back to drinking 32 ounces and just deal with the peeing, because it's worth it. Yeah, I'm just going to keep doing that, because honestly, the results with the edema going down were so drastic that I was like, this has been on my list of things that I'm supposed to be doing. This is like, I have a written protocol for myself that I've had since about 4 or 5 months in, and I have changed some of the supplements on it because I'm in a different space now, and because when I started I was focusing just almost purely on EBV and tiny bit on strep, and as I got more into my healing and the EBV went down a lot, I needed more focus on strep and shingles. So I started doing those as a primary focus anyways for supplement wise. So I've changed my supplements a few times for a few different reasons. But the entire time I had on that sheet, like, drink red clover tea. And I did drink it at first, and I do remember my edema going down. And then, like, for a long time I stopped drinking it. I don't know why. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I've had this on my protocol for the whole entire time. Why have I not been drinking it? What is wrong with me? And remember I just said, like, there's nothing productive about going down that road of beating yourself up, but sometimes you have a neural pathway that just spins, I guess, and that one started kind of spinning out when the red clover tea started working, because I was like, you mean for the past, like, what, 2 years or however long I haven't been drinking this? And I could have been, and I could have been just flushing my lymph system the whole time, and then I feel kind of like an idiot, and I know nothing productive comes of that track, so I'm trying to derail it and ask the angels for help derailing it and just support myself in a better way. Okay, so what did we learn from this? It's a big lesson. And I will say, too, more in the beginning, I don't really think... It's like I understood that consistency was important with some things, and like, yeah, it works over time, so you have to really do it every day, and how important that is. But it seems like I was able to keep some things in that consistency lane, and other things I didn't, obviously. And the red clover tea was one of them, and isn't it hard sometimes when you know something and you're like, I've known this for a long time, why is it just clicking now? I knew it back in 2017, the importance of it, and I was like, oh yeah, I have to do this every day. So what happened? What happened that fell out again? I don't know. Muffin snoring, healers and health seekers. Leave it to her to lift my mood and have me have a light heart. Medical medium has always said, it's interesting that I haven't heard him say it in a while, but he always used to say, light heart, keep a light heart. Light, keep a light heart. Yeah, that can be one of the trickiest things to do. Sometimes it's easy. sometimes I'm in this sort of window of where everything feels good and my body feels good and there's no soreness or pain or anything, and I'm not flaring, and there's no stress in my life. I shouldn't say no stress in my life, but it's manageable, and I can use all my tools and I can get myself I can keep going. It's like when things are good or whatever, right? And even when things are hard, like if I hit a bump or I do have a flare or something comes up, or it's like I can manage it. But when something comes up that's consistent and persistent and stays, and the stress stays and everything, it just gets harder and harder and harder and harder. And then weeks happen or days happen where I sit down to make a video and I end up sobbing because it just gets too hard, and even talking about it is so incredibly painful, and I don't see a way out. And I won't say that I'm out of that space, because I don't think I'm fully out of it, but I feel like I'm starting to come out of it. I don't know. I don't know the way through. It also, I am cooped up in here a lot. And I get out and I take walks when I can. It's kind of a vicious cycle where my energy is low, possibly from being cooped up in here and possibly from other things like all the stress and everything. And when there is that space in the day where I can go for a walk, I'm too tired to do it. And I can't seem to pick myself up and get myself out the door, or even really get myself dressed to get out the door. So I am in here a lot. Now this past weekend we went and looked at a couple of houses. They were not even a little bit what we were looking for, but it's like sometimes they seem okay on paper and then you go see them in person and you're like, oh, this is not what they showed in the pictures. All right, my week, my health. My mornings are always the same food-wise. It's 32 ounces of honey lemon water, followed by a half-hour later, 32 ounces of celery juice, which I slip and swish slowly. Then I generally do 32 ounces of watermelon blended with mint and lime, or sometimes just watermelon, and sometimes I eat the watermelon. Sometimes the watermelon's so good that I just eat it because I can't wait to blend it. And then I have my heavy metal detox smoothie, of course, every day. And then I will have my lunch and then snack throughout the day, and then have a dinner. Usually, I don't know what it is, honestly, lately, you guys, with me and cooked food. And maybe it's because I didn't have it for 49 days, but all of a sudden I am right back into not being able to wait until dinner to have steamed potatoes. It's like, I'll make a salad and I'll think I'm just gonna have that raw salad, and then all of a sudden there's a potato in it. I'm like, okay, I guess I'm having this. So some days I do all raw. Those days are not very frequent, I'll be honest. And some days I make it raw till dinner, which I'm always just like, that's a huge win if I make it raw till dinner. And some days I'm raw till lunch. That's as far as I make it. So, and honestly right now I feel like I'm just gonna have to be okay with however it is. So I am gonna go back up to 32 ounces of the red clover thyme honey tea with orange juice, because I just felt like that moved things quicker and better. And I'm in the RV all day anyway, so oh well, if I have to pee every friggin' 15 minutes or half an hour or whatever it is, that's fine. Some of the urinary stuff is strep too. I do, because like I said, I'm in these flares right now. Like I have pain in my, not a lot, like I have a little bit of pain in my shoulders, which is usually shingles, and tightness. I'm sorry, pain and tightness. It's actually more just tightness that causes a bit of pain, but it's It's not very much. It's not like it keeps me awake or bothers me very much or anything. And then there's a little bit in my lower back, which is also my shingles spots. I've had a little bit, just a slight bit of congestion. That's strep. This is just fats and stress, and I don't know. My body just lets me know I cannot get away with any fat at all, like any. None. Not even a little lick my finger because I, was, no. Nope. No. Just no. But it's not like that's all that I had. I have tried that cheese sauce that I make for my son, and it is really good. And then I tried to make it with no fat to see if it could be equally good. It is not. It is not equally good. It's okay. It's actually pretty good. I like it. But it's not equally as good. Man, fat adds some flavor to things sometimes. That creaminess. Oh, you know what else I had? I had some of those Siete Foods chips, and those just really don't agree with me at all. Those are what did this. That was like a couple days ago. They do not agree with me. So I don't know why I do that to myself. I don't know what my deal is lately. I'm just so low energy that I'm just like, I don't care, whatever. This is in front of me, and I do stuff. I don't know, you guys. I don't know. I'm not proud, but that's what's happening. Okay. So yeah, so that's symptoms. The plantar fasciitis is still happening. The edema, less though, so much less. But then yesterday it kind of came back. But I think it's because I'm drinking less of the red clover tea. I guess we'll see. We'll see, because I'm going to up it again today. I'm going to do close to 32 ounces, including the orange juice. So we'll see if that helps, because, oh my gosh, it was so amazing seeing my ankles just look like regular ankles. Because the thing is it became so much more exacerbated when we got into a humid climate. So ever since we've been in the Midwest, it wasn't like this before. Like when we were in the desert, when we were in Arizona and California, it wasn't like this. It had maybe a tiny, I don't even remember if it had any swelling, because I remember a few months into medical medium healing, the edema went away and I was stunned, and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't have edema anymore. This is great. And I don't think I had it in the desert. And once we hit the Midwest, so where do we go? We got into Indiana, and then Ohio, and then Wisconsin, and then here. Once we got into those areas, it started swelling and started swelling and started swelling, and it got worse and worse and worse and worse, because they're such humid climates. And so in Wisconsin, it would go down slightly in the winter, but not really all the way. It was still even like this in the winter, and the winters are quite dry in Wisconsin. So I don't know. I feel like my ankle is sort of connected to my emotions in that way, because it's like, oh, I hate being in this part of the country, so I'm just gonna swell up with rebellion and resistance. So that's sometimes that feels like what's going on. I'm laughing, but that's true. Like sometimes that really does feel like what's going on. Part of my body's just saying, this is how much I resist being in this area. And honestly, it is such a struggle for me being in this area. It's not ever somewhere I ever thought that I would come back other than to visit, ever. If you would have asked me at any point in the past 15 years, oh, do you think you'll ever go back there and live again? There would be not a second of hesitation before the sentence left your lips. I would be like, nope, not gonna happen, never, nope, no way. So I really still feel that way, and I also really feel like right now we need to be here for family, for both my son and my family, and for healing. And I feel like it's important, but it's really hard to sort of rectify that with my strong resistance to this place. So I have had lots of conversations with the universe, the angels, God, whatever you want to call it, and have said, if I have to be here, please, I need this, my home to be my sanctuary. Like, I need a place where I can keep bees and have my garden, and where I can just be, in nature. I need this place. And sometimes, like I was saying at the beginning of the video, sometimes it can be hard to hold that faith and that hope that that's going to happen. Because a lot of the evidence in the world points to, good luck, sister. Like, you're going to need it. So, yeah. So it can be, I don't know, it can be hard. But like I said, I do think I am doing a little bit better about holding it together. I'm definitely still in survival mode, and I'm not in a place where it's like I can do a lot of extra self-care. It's really more like get through the day, get the right foods in me, and get rest. And that's kind of like, I'm at basics right now. I'm really at basics. It's funny because it's almost hard to gauge, because when I was my sickest, basics was like so much less than I am able to do now. And I'm still, again, I have said this a million billion times in my videos, my worst day now is better than my best day then, and that is still honestly true. So my gauge is different. It's like a whole different measuring system that I have now than I had then. Like, then I would measure any energy units in spoons based on the spoon theory. And now I don't think of my energy units that way, because I'm so much more functional that I think, well, it's just a whole different paradigm. It's a whole different playing field. But I still don't feel like my energy units can be measured against like a regular healthy person who's full of person's energy units, because it's still not at that level. And I have had days where it almost was, and that's amazing. And I see more of those, and I know that it is coming again in the future. Right now it's not there. It's not there. But I still can go out and do, if I need to go look out at houses and drive all the stuff, like I just pack a cooler full of food for all of us so we have snacks, so we can be sustained, and off we go. And that's really not a big deal. Like, my recovery time is so much faster, so I come back and maybe I want to rest, and I'm like, oh, that wore me out. But it didn't really wear me out. It's just that I'm done, I don't know how to explain this. I feel like I'm doing a terrible job. But what I'm saying is just such a different unit of measurement, and it's like I keep having to recalibrate for my new normal. I keep having to readjust for my new normal. This is my new normal. And right now I'm frustrated because my new normal was so much more functional and had more energy and was able to do so much more. And right now I'm not at that level. I know I'll get there again, but I'm not at that level right now. But I know I can do things if I really need to. Like I said, go look at houses. If there's a day where I'm like, no, I gotta do this, I can make it happen. And I don't crash, it doesn't tax me. I mean, it is a little bit, because it's more than I usually do, so I need extra glucose and stuff like that. But we come back, I have a little bit of downtime, maybe I take a nap, I'm fine. I could not have done that before. I could not have done that before at all. When I couldn't leave my house before. That's not. So I'm just so much more functional now, but then I have an expectation because I get to this new normal and I'm like, no, it should always be like this. And it's not always like that, because healing doesn't work that way, especially when you're under stress and you start having flares and whatever. That's just it's not how it goes. 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, and that's okay. That's part of the journey. It's just how our bodies heal. Stuff comes out of the liver, you're detoxing, you're going through flares, there's stress, whatever. Like, there's all kinds of factors that can happen. And I'm really okay with that part of it. Like, I really am okay that that's how healing works, and I understand it. So it doesn't scare me so much when it happens anymore, like, or at all. It's just, I go, okay, now this is where I am, like, okay, readjust. to allow for what's going on now, you know? Don't make as many plans, whatever. Like, just... Okay. So sorry. My camera just died. All the batteries died in my camera. I can't believe this. Okay. So I have to finish this on my phone. I don't remember what I was talking about before. I'm sorry. It just totally cut off and I can't remember and I apologize. I guess I was basically done. I mean, I don't know. So yeah, there's just like a little bit of flaring and stuff like that. The plantar fasciitis is still going on. The edema a little bit. Tightness in my shoulders. A little bit of lower back issues. But actually I'm not sure, the tightness in the lower back, the sofa where I sit, which is actually that spot right there, is broken. We need to replace the sofa. Replacing furniture in a motorhome is such a gigantic pain in the bum, and you really honestly don't want to do it when it's occupied, because you have to drive to where the furniture is. Like, there's no RV furniture delivery, and plus new RV furniture is going to be loaded with petrochemicals and flame retardants and all this stuff, and you don't want all that stuff off-gassing in your space. So we always try to look for used RV furniture, but that in and of itself is a whole thing, because you basically need to take the RV to where the furniture is or have a truck, and we don't have either of those things, and it's just a whole thing. And getting the furniture in and out, plus you have to find used RV furniture, and we have a very specific jackknife sofa, and it's an ordeal. You can't just... I was going to say you can't just go to IKEA and buy furniture, but some people actually do that for their RVs, and we have considered it because it would be so much cheaper than buying a sofa, but it also has to fit in the space, and there has to be a way to bolt it down. It's tricky. The whole thing is tricky. IKEA would be ideal because you assemble IKEA furniture. But anyway, it has to also be something that can convert into a bed, because that is the bed, and it also has to be something that can accommodate seat belts, and that is harder to do with IKEA furniture. Like, how do you do that? It's a whole thing. Anyway, it's broken, and it really hurts my back to sit there, but there's not like a bunch of other places to sit in the RV. Like, this is it. So that's where I sit. And I think that's doing my back in and making everything all wonky and hurt. Yet another reason that I just want to get out of here and into a house where we can have normal furniture that I can sit on and not be in so much pain. Because the other part of that is, because I'm so out of it all the time and I'm not feeling, myself, and I don't have that much energy, I do end up sitting a lot more than I normally would. So then I'm in the thing that hurts my back. Anyway. Okay, so enough of my whining and complaining. That's not what these videos are supposed to be about. It's really just supposed to be like food, symptoms, and, what's been going on with me and my healing. And honestly, this is what's going on with me and my healing right now. Yeah, I'm just going to have to keep coping through it. So, listen. Oh my gosh. Okay, you guys, I'm not going to cry. You guys are so amazing and so wonderful, and I appreciate your love and support so much. You send me so many beautiful messages saying, hang in there, we love you, you're doing great, and I'm okay, so I'm not going to cry, but I'm a little bit, I am, how can I not? I'm so moved by your support and your kind words, and how beautiful and sweet and loving and full of light and compassion you all are, and I just thank you so much. Even though it took me a while to answer those comments this time, because I was just in this sort of fog, like honestly this sort of fog, I read them immediately. And it took me a while to approve them and to answer them, but I did see them, and I really feel that they helped buoy me up and lift me up. And I feel like all that love and support and people's prayers and everything it really does help push me through that fog and help keep me going and know that there is love in this world for me. And I appreciate that so much. So thank you. Thank you for being a part of that. Thank you for just all of it. It makes such an incredible difference, and I just want you to know that. I just want you to know how much I appreciate all of you, and just thanks, you guys. This channel gives me so much. I love doing the videos. I love tracking my progress and stuff like that, but the feedback I get from you guys is just amazing. And then just like the connections I have with you guys, and the way there's a lot of you who comment regularly, who are watching my videos regularly. Doesn't mean you're watching everyone, and that's fine. It doesn't matter. It's just, so I start to feel like I know you too, and I just, oh my gosh, it means so much to me. I love it. I didn't expect any of it when I started my channel. I really just wanted to be able to say all the stuff I wanted to say and like talk about it to somebody. I didn't really have anybody to talk to about all this stuff, and so I just wanted to talk to somebody about it, and I wanted to, my hope of hopes was that I would reach somebody and then help them in their healing journey, and like literally any way. Like, if I never thought of myself as being inspiring or anything like that, I just thought, if I can just help somebody believe that they can heal and help somebody find this healing information, then that's the greatest gift to me. And it has definitely been the greatest gift to me in so many more ways than I ever expected. So thank you. On that note, this is a good way to end. This is a positive, uplifting feeling of gratitude and being moved to tears by how grateful I am. That's the way I like to do it. So thank you so much, my healers and health seekers, for watching this video. Thank you for coming along on this healing journey with me. Oh my gosh. Like I said, there are no words, but I try anyway. Just to tell you how much I appreciate you. If you like this video, give a thumbs up below. You can subscribe to my channel by hitting the subscribe button over there. There's actually a pug there, but you can't see her right now. You can ding the bell next to it if you want to be notified when I post new videos. I just want you to know that you can heal. I really want you to know that you can heal. I love you so much. Stay curious. Stay curious, my healers and health seekers. So many blessings on your continued healing journey, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.